your city and country, city and state. And we'll be starting in just about 2 minutes. All right. From the United Arab Emirates, welcome. Australia, India, of course, Nigeria. Folks in the Philippines and Australia, it's very late at night, so I'm really honored that you're here. Indonesia as well. Bangladesh, London, Ghana, Canada, India. See, North America, Europe, Australia, Asia, and Africa. That's 5 of the continents. Number of folks from India. All right, we'll be starting in just about 10 seconds here. Mexico. Morocco, Italy. Bucharest and Romania. Welcome. Iran, Ethiopia, Botswana. Hello. All right, I'm going to switch over the chat so that you can just ask questions to me, and we will get the session started now. If you do have questions for the Q&A later, please put them into the Q&A function within Zoom. Here we go. So let me double check that we are recording. Yep. And I want to welcome everyone to the Strategies for Building Effective Leadership Skills session here. We'll be talking about a program from MIT xPRO, which is their extended education program. And I'm Stuart Creek from Simplilearn. We're the delivery partner for MIT xPRO for this and another program. We'll talk about today a little bit about you. I'll be asking you a few questions in polls, so watch out for those. We'll talk about the impact of leadership skills and why they are so vitally important to the success of businesses, organizations, and to your success. We'll talk about how this program works, learner outcomes, and we'll go over the enrollment process and a bonus offer for being here with me today. So I appreciate your being here, and we're going to give you a offer at the end of the session. Let's start off with how many years of experience you have. This is the first of the polls I mentioned. Make sure we get the right one. We'll just leave this open for about 15 seconds. Curious to know who's in our audience today. And I will close the poll in 5, four, three, two, one. In the poll, and I'll share the result with you. Um, Only about a quarter of our audience are folks who are still in school, and the rest of you have experience. And this audience today heavily weights towards more experience, 5 or more years. So glad that you could join us. Let's talk just a little bit about the impact of leadership skills. Leadership is a force multiplier. Leadership is how one individual can get the work of many people done by organizing that work and directing it and motivating people to match your objectives and your organization's strategy. So it's the set of skills that enable you to accomplish your objectives in concert with others. Leadership is not necessarily doing as much as it is leading. And that sounds like a tautology, but it's something that sometimes leaders forget, that they need to motivate and inspire as much as show technical or capability of their own. You need to be able to influence people to follow you when you don't have the authority to command them to. Sometimes we're called upon to take leadership positions in teams where technically everyone else on the team is our peer. They may not regard us as having the authority to tell them what to do, but it's an incumbent on us to exercise leadership skills to influence them to do what the organization needs them to do. And we talk about problem led leadership, which is leadership by solving problems. And that brings the resources of the organization, both human resources and physical or monetary resources, to bear on problems in an effective way. So you have to be able to find solutions and execute them effectively. So leadership is really the art of getting things done through the actions of others. You need a range of leadership capabilities. And in this program, there's an emphasis on problem solving, inspiring your team to join you in the challenge of solving problems that face your organization. There's the issue of change management and being able to uh, direct and influence the direction of change in your organization as the environment around you changes, as the resources in your organization change, as priorities and strategies change. So it's very important to be agile and to be able to understand how to help the organization pivot as these circumstances change. You need to be aware of your own inventory of strengths and capabilities, your own skills, and what you're capable of so that you can apply your skills in the most effective way using the tools that you're best at. You need to have technical leadership. So we'll discuss this program focuses on leadership in the context of science, engineering, and business. So you need to be able to demonstrate not necessarily that you can do everyone else's job better than they can, but that you understand what it is they do and you intelligently monitor what it is they do so that you can direct the overall progress of the organization towards solving the problem. You need to be able to ask somebody, what have you accomplished, and be able to understand and accept that answer. You need to understand strategic alignment. What you do in your team with your group has to align to the organization's overall strategy. You want to solve problems that actually move the organization forward in its strategy and not go off on tangents that may be interesting to you and your team, but do not support the strategy of the organization. Um, you need, of course, negotiation skills, conflict management skills, because in every team there will be conflicts, and in every situation you will need to uh, find ways to negotiate and compromise so that you may find new ways of solving the problem that don't fit the original plan, but which lead to success. And you need culture management. You need to be able to understand how your team fits into the organization's culture, and you need to be able to project the organization's culture into your team so that they can operate effectively within that environment. Uh, as you can appreciate, this is a multi-factored area. It goes beyond what you might consider your job if you're an engineer, if you're a scientist, if you're responsible for a business area like sales or marketing or operations. Um, but this really is how you can accomplish your job more effectively. So let's hear from the folks at MIT about this program.
Leadership is about going to a destination that others haven't been to yet. And engineering leadership is fundamentally about changing the perspective on a problem.
Technology is the driver of change in organizations. And it's the role of technology leadership to anticipate where is that point of inflection and what new direction might we go to continue our progress.
Leadership does not have to be the top-down, ego-driven way of leading. Problem-led leadership is about taking on huge challenges in the world. And so people bring their expertise in as necessary because this is important work to do.
Leadership skills are teachable. I'm convinced that you can train the techniques and you can train the mindset.
Let's talk for a second about the elements of successful leadership.
If you don't have influence, there's still ways of persuading people.
You have to be able to navigate the three lenses on leading change.
You need to understand who you are and what you do and do not bring to the table, because as a leader, what you want to do is build a team that complements the skills that you have.
Leaders are not in the boardrooms, but leaders are in the field, bringing that change and making it viable and meaningful.
Engineering leadership today is probably more than any time in our history what companies need. And every human being, in my view, is designed to be a leader. We need to train to unleash and channel that.
All right. And that was a little bit about the program, just a teaser. And we'll be talking more about it in just a minute. But I would like to know, since you are all here to learn about leadership and how to develop your leadership skills, what has stopped you up until now from finding a program that would help you get qualified and certified in leadership? Why haven't you enrolled in some other program by this time? And I'll leave this open for just another 10 seconds or so. You can put in 1, 2, 3, or all 4 of the reasons. And I'm going to close the poll in about 5 seconds. Get your answers in, hit that submit button, and we'll close in 3, 2, 1. And so our result shows that the 2 main reasons are finding a program that has a comprehensive curriculum that will cover, the full range of skills that I spoke about previously, And also, right after that, finding time in your schedule, a program that will let you fit it into your work schedule as a working professional. Um, and the third concern is finding a program that gives you practical examples of exercising leadership skills. So, with that in mind, talk about this program. This is a 4-month program, the Executive Leadership Principles Program. It is targeted at engineers, scientists, and researchers, as you saw in the video, and it is a comprehensive curriculum designed by MIT to meet the needs of industry, helping people get leadership skills that will enable them to be more effective in those roles. It includes integrated case studies and online live virtual classrooms. So this is not a program where you sign up to watch videos. This is a program where you sign up to hear lectures and interact with the lecturers in a live online virtual classroom environment. You'll also be given case studies to go through and to work through on your own so that you can come up with how you would apply your particular skills to leadership problems. It's flexible to fit your lifestyle, meaning that there are certain scheduled classes to take, but then other than that, you will be working on your own time, anytime 24/7, because the platform allows you to log in at any time that you have time to do the work. So all of those resources are available to you. If you miss a class, you can see a class recording to catch up on it at your leisure. So this offers you the flexibility to fit into your working life. The end of the process, you get a certificate from MIT xPRO program, and it will certify that you have completed the program to their satisfaction. Again, this is an MIT xPRO program. We're a delivery partner, but the program is designed by MIT xPRO and managed by them. You receive 5 continuing education units from MIT xPRO if you are in a field which requires you to prove that that you've conducted continuing education and kept your skills up. Sometimes that's required by licensing bodies, sometimes by your employer. So if you're in that situation, you will get 5 continuing education units. That's the standardized unit for continuing education proof. And then the online masterclasses, of course, delivered by MIT faculty, but also by people from industry who will bring their industry perspectives. Saw a couple of the names in the video. You'll connect with an international community of professionals because, as we have seen leading into today's session, you're here from all over the world. This program is available to people from all over the world, and you'll be interacting with learners from all over the world, as well as very diverse faculty of MIT. Speaking of MIT, it is a 160-year-old institution. It is one of the densest concentrations of brilliant people in the world. MIT is well regarded worldwide as a center for the development of technology and technical solutions in a number of different fields. And of course, it's generated a number of Nobel Prize winners for the research they did at MIT, or graduating from MIT and moving on to research elsewhere. People who've won the Turing Award in computing, MacArthur Fellows, that's commonly known as the Genius Grant, that's awarded the MacArthur Foundation to people who are just exceptionally bright and interesting, gives them an opportunity to spend some time working on whatever interests them. So MIT is also the home of a number of different research centers. So national and international centers for research in computing, in engineering, in artificial intelligence. And having the name MIT on your resume, on your CV, really a feather in your cap. It's really something that will get noticed and will impress people. We think that this is really a unique opportunity to learn from some of the best and brightest minds in the world. We talk about who should enroll. Program doesn't have necessarily prerequisites per se, but it is designed for people who are in engineering, science, and research, either early to mid-career, are interested in gaining some leadership capabilities, people who are entering into managerial leadership positions and want to develop those skills more deeply, more strongly, and people who are maybe individual contributors, team leaders who want to make a bigger contribution by leading the team. So this is the kind of profile that we're looking for people who want to enroll. Let's talk about how the program prepares you. We had a question about somebody in the chat mentioned, I'm not sure if the company will cover the cost, and we'll talk about that in a bit. This program is 4 courses over the space of the 4 months. So the first course is understanding organizational strategy and capabilities, then negotiating and applying influence and power, navigating and leveraging culture and networks is the third course, and the fourth course is discovering and implementing your leadership strengths. And focusing on the areas that we talked about before, course 1, 4 weeks, understanding what it is when your organization talks to you about strategy, about product plans, about product development, and then the principles of capability work and dynamic work design, and how to organize work on problem solving and projects in a way that is most effective and most agile. Negotiation, influence, and power really focus on the idea that power is something that you can apply directly. Power is your organization has given you responsibility. Everyone who works for you or with you on your team understands that you wield that authority and you can direct them. How do you use that power? Well, that's the 3rd week of this course, and the reason is because you need to understand the softer skills in order to be able to understand the appropriate use of direct power. So week 1 is negotiation, how to work with people to come up with solutions when what you want is not completely aligned with what they want. Be able to come up with a solution that or an approach that is mutually acceptable. Influence is being able to use other things besides authority in order to get people aligned to and working on what it is you want to do. So influence and motivate people without using direct power. And then finally, looking at proper use of direct power so that your team remains motivated, effective, and dynamic. Navigating and leveraging culture and networks is the 3rd month of the program, and the culture of your organization is a set of shared values. It's important that you understand how to keep your team within that boundary of shared values so that what you do harmonizes with what everything else happens in the organization. Networks and understanding where your team fits within the organization, where to go for support, who's going to be using the products of your team's work. All of that is extremely important to understand, and it's not always clear simply from an org chart. And finally, change management. In week 3, there will be a simulation of how to implement and influence a change of culture within an organization, situation where circumstances change, and based on the organization's culture and the networks that exist there, you have to show how you would navigate that change and get to the other side with effective, efficient leadership. Course 4 is the one where you look inward and become aware of your inventory of skills, strengths that you bring, the weaknesses you might have, places where you need to recruit or turn to mentors or other resources so that your team has those strengths even if you don't. And then finally, being able to apply that set of strengths and skills to implement your vision through the action of your team. So this is really one of the more exciting aspects of the program, and one of the most challenging. So this is under the direction of and delivered by a wide range of folks from MIT. And you can see that they come from the engineering department, they come from the School of Management, people even in urban planning and environmental studies. So people who are looking at broader societal concerns and how your work will fit into those. That's an important part of culture and of networks and of organizational strategy, even more so today than ever before, because organizations do kind of look to those externalities and trying to incorporate them into their organizational goals, culture, and values. So you've got Professor Qualley from Engineering and Aeronautics, Astronautics. You have Professor Nina from the Engineering Program, the Engineering Leadership Program, I should say. Professor Repenning from School of Management. Professor Susskind from Urban Environmental Planning. Professor Menon from Organization Studies, and Professor Reagans from the School of Management. And they will they will be delivering classes in the program, but they'll also be calling on people from outside who will come in, bring industry perspectives. Great lineup of instructors and resources for you. Here are some people who have gone through the program, and we have some of these on the website. I will be sharing with you the web link in a little bit, but Lisa spoke about the value of the case studies and how they contribute to her work at Boeing. Emily speaks about the value of developing leadership skills through this program within her work at Boeing. And then Boeing UK, apologize that this is all for Boeing, but Edward talks about the role play aspects and how case studies and the work in the classes and case studies allow you to get a practical experience of what leadership skills are and how you apply them in situations that are drawn from real life and real industry. So we hope to add you to this roster of people who have testimonials for this program, at which point I'm going to ask, are you interested, based on what you've heard so far, in enrolling in this program? We'll leave this open just for about 10 seconds. It's a yes or no question. I'll close this in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hit submit, please. And about 85% of you said you are interested. This is an opportune time for me to share with you, before we get to the Q&A, to share with you how to get enrolled and cost of the program as well. Well, the enrollment process is very straightforward. Again, as the delivery partner, you email us at askus@simplilearn.net. I will put that into the chat, and we will review your application, ask you some questions about your work and your interest and aptitude for leadership, and then we'll offer you the enrollment if you qualify. Receive an enrollment offer from our learning consultants. The next cohort you can start is classes in July with an induction set toward the end of June. Induction sessions are very straightforward. It takes, excuse me, it'll be off of Zoom for a second. I'll be right back. Hold on. Zoom does this occasionally. The induction session is 20 June. It's a very short. Again, I apologize for that. That's a glitch that sometimes happens. As I was saying, the 20th June session is very short. It's a couple of hours that tell you about how to navigate the online platform, what to expect from your curriculum. And then the classes formally start on July 12th and run for 4 months. We say limited seats are available because in order to be able to give sufficient attention to the participants, necessary to limit the size of the cohorts. So we usually cut those off at about 25 to 30 people per cohort. And so we recommend that if you're interested, you get involved quickly. Email us right away. And the program fees are $3,249 in the US. EMI financing available at $286 a month. If you are curious about pricing in your local area, in your country, you can check that on the website, and I will be sharing that link with you momentarily. Or you can ask the folks at askus@simplilearn.net, and they'll be able to share with you what the pricing is and in what currency for your location. The bonus offer for attending this webinar is a 10% discount off of the program fees. So taking 10% off if you're in the US, North America, taking 10% off of this $3,249 fee, or if you are in another location, 10% off whatever the pricing is in your location. Question that I mentioned talked about tuition reimbursement and whether your employer will cover the cost of the program for you. That is, of course, something that between you and your employer, if it's a benefit or a program that your employer has through learning and development or through human resources, and you would ask that of your employer. But a number of companies do actually help with the cost of programs like this for continuing education. So again, reach out to us at askus@simplilearn.net, and we'll be able to answer questions about pricing, financing, and that type of thing, help you get enrolled. So for those of you who said you are interested, curious to know if you are interested in getting involved in the July classes or sometime after that. Open for a bit. We're going to leave this open for just another 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. And a couple of people are interested in getting involved in the July sessions, but quite a few more who are interested in probably the August or September sessions that come after that. So if you're looking further down the road, I also recommend that you email us, keep you posted on future cohorts as well. This is where we'll go to questions and answers. I will try to take questions both from the Q&A and from the chat. Start with the Q&A. We had a question from you about today's session, which will be over. We're at 9:02. Should be about another 15 to 20 minutes, depending on how many questions we have here. And will you get a certificate for today's session? We will be following up with an email with the link to this recording for everyone, and also digital proof of attendance certificate for being here today. Is this course accredited? This course is offered by MIT xPRO. So MIT is the body that provides essentially the reputation and credit behind this program. And so the certificate will enable you to claim that you've completed the program successfully, and if anyone asks, MIT will verify that. This is not a degree program, so it's not subject to the same type of accreditation as a degree program might be. Look into the chat for some questions here. Any PDUs for this session? No, not for this webinar that we're doing right now. Some examples of techniques used in the program. So you covered a little bit of that in the video, but you can see some more of that at the website. And looking through, do we have other questions? Please put those in if you have them into the Q&A. I'll check those. How many years of experience should one have for this program? This program doesn't require that you have experience. However, this program is really intended for people who are working in the field of engineering, science, or research. And so having some experience will give you an idea of how the work is done in those fields and how the teams are organized, so that you'll understand the role of leadership within those programs, and so that you'll be able to apply what you learn into this, into your work directly. Is there a preview available for this program? We don't have a preview per se currently, but we'll advise you when we schedule something of that nature. Is one able to pay in installments? Yes. So there is EMI financing, equal monthly installment financing. And as I showed in the pricing slide, the monthly payment for this program is about $286. If you're in the US or North America, and you'll be able to ask learning consultants about EMI financing for other regions. How is this different from a conventional executive management program? So that's an interesting question, and the difference here is that this is focused on the leadership principles for engineering, science, and research. So this is for people who are in technical environments where maybe they have been focused on knowing their field and doing great technical work, and now you're being called on. If you've been focused on writing great code or doing great work in the laboratory or coming up with interesting new theories, and now you're being asked to lead your team or take a more responsible role, it may be a difficult transition for you if you haven't got exposure to those skills, experience with those skills, and that's what this program provides you. So it's focused not on necessarily the executive management skills that might focus on sales and marketing, that might focus on financial management, that might focus on supply chain and operations. This is a program that focuses on leadership of teams that are designed to solve interesting problems. And so that's the focus of this program and why it's unique and different from a general management program. Are there discounts available for students outside of the developed world? And you would ask that of the folks that ask us at simplylearn.net. I'm going to look in the Q&A one more time to see if there's any questions there. I hadn't hit. And any chance for full scholarship? Again, please ask the folks that ask us at simplylearn.com. I have someone's a piece of someone's resume here. So I'm not going to comment on that, but this is something that you can discuss with the people that ask us at simplylearn.net about your background for getting into the program. And can one aspire, here's the final question, can one aspire to go for leadership posts without prior leadership duties, but having skills or knowledge and already performing in other roles? So if you think about that, that is actually the only way to get into a leadership position, because every leader starts off not being a leader. Every leader starts off with moving into a leadership role from some other position. So necessary to develop the skills of leadership in order to move into a leadership role. And you can develop experience in leadership by leading smaller groups, maybe situationally being a project leader, becoming a team leader, and then moving up to the leader of a group, a department, and up in chain of management if that's the direction you want to go. This program focuses not only on developing a management chain of career path, but also understanding leadership to be more effective in the technical role. So you may not want to move out of your technical role. You may not want to move out of participating directly in the work that you do with your peers, but this will allow you to be the leader of your group, of your team, in a more effective way. So that I'm going to close the Q&A and have one last question for our audience before we finish. Hopefully Zoom will not toss me back out again. Last poll question. Do you want us to reach out to you to assist with enrollment? It will kick me off for just a second. I'll be right back. It's a transition thing with Zoom. So I'll assist you here. And if you answer yes to this question, we will have one of our learning consultants contact you directly. And I'll end the poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. So about 40% of you said yes. We will, as I said, reach out to you directly and help you get started in the program, answer any questions you have. With that, I want to thank you all for being here. I appreciate your willingness especially for those of you in places like Australia and the Philippines where it's very, very late, or depending on your perspective, very, very early in the morning. And we're very honored to have you all here from wherever you are in the world. Thank you. We hope we can welcome you into the learning community with MIT xPRO. As I promised, I'm going to put into the chat right now the link that will take you to the web page for the program, and which will allow you to find some more details, or you contact us at ask us at Simplilearn. Second.